Gotham had always been a city of shadows, a city where fear thrived and justice hung by a thread. But tonight, something impossible was about to happen, something that would change everything. Bruce Wayne, the man behind the Batman mask, had faced every kind of villain imaginable. From the cunning Joker, whose chaos defied reason, to alien conquerors like Darkseid, who sought to enslave worlds. Yet nothing, not even gods or monsters, could prepare him for what he was about to find. In the ruins of a hidden apocalyptic lab, Bruce discovered it, the Infinity Gauntlet. 6 stones glimmered with unimaginable energy. Time, space, mind, soul, power, and reality. Each pulsed with the raw essence of the universe itself. At first, he hesitated. Every instinct screamed that no mortal, not even him, should hold this kind of power. And yet, Gotham had always demanded more. Could he finally protect his city? Could he reshape a world plagued by tragedy? The gauntlet was more than a tool. It was alive, whispering promises of omnipotence. Tested its wielder, probing fears and desires. And Batman, with his brilliant yet fragile mind, was the perfect subject. Trauma, guilt, obsession. They all made him vulnerable to its whispers. He put it on. Instantly, the power coursed through him. Every timeline, every reality, every possible outcome flooded his mind. Gotham was no longer just a city. It was a web of infinite possibilities. Enemies, allies, and countless lives flickered before him. But Bruce did what he always does, he planned. Even with infinite power, he sought control. A flick of a finger could send a criminal organization crumbling, and yet he acted with precision. He restrained the gauntlet, testing limits, calculating consequences. Absolute power, yet measured restraint. Yet restraint was fragile. The gauntlet whispered, "What if you could erase evil entirely? What if you could perfect the world?" The temptation was overwhelming. Batman had spent his life fighting for justice. Could he now define it himself unchallenged, unopposed? Cosmic disturbances began to ripple outward. Heroes sensed it. Wonder Woman felt the imbalance. Doctor Strange noticed fractures in time. Even the Justice League began to sense something monumental was unfolding, though they could not yet see the source. Batman wrestled with the weight of omnipotence. Could he save lives without losing his humanity? Could he wield a universe without falling into tyranny? The answer was uncertain, and every night in the Batcave, the question gnawed at him. What if the temptation became too great? On the rooftops of Gotham, he stared at the city below. The shadows had changed. They no longer belonged to criminals. They belonged to a Batman who could bend time, reality, and fate itself. Somewhere, deep in the cosmos, unseen forces stirred. Beings who once considered themselves gods now recognized a new power rising. Gotham would never be the same. And the Dark Knight, the Eternal Guardian, now held the universe in his grasp. The Infinity Gauntlet on Batman's hand was more than a weapon. It was a storm. Each stone pulsed with infinite potential, bending reality with the slightest thought. And yet, it was the reality stone that fascinated him most. With it, he could remake Gotham. Crime could vanish. Tragedy could be erased. He could save countless lives before disaster even struck. But power like this is never simple. Even Batman knew the cost. Absolute control rarely came without consequence. The very forces of the universe, the delicate balance that kept existence intact, bristled at his presence. And still, driven by decades of loss and fear, he pushed forward. His first changes were subtle. Entire criminal organizations vanished overnight. Explosions, robberies, murders, preempted before they could happen. Citizens awoke to a safer Gotham, unaware that their reality had been rewritten by a single, unseen hand. The Joker, sensing a shift in the chaos he thrived upon, whispered in Bruce's mind, mocking the impossible. "Even gods cannot escape chaos." The clown laughed, taunting him with visions of failure. Batman pressed on. With the time stone, he prevented accidents and tragedies before they occurred. Criminals were stopped before they committed crimes. Citizens survived events that were once unavoidable. Gotham was safer, cleaner, almost perfect. Yet perfection began to feel hollow. He could see the patterns of life, the threads that gave people strength, hope, and purpose. Remove suffering entirely, and life itself began to lose its meaning. Even the universe noticed. Galactus paused in his devouring. The Celestials observed with unease. Heroes across worlds felt tremors in reality. The Dark Knight, armed with the Gauntlet, had become an unpredictable force, a mortal wielding divine power, capable of rewriting existence. The more Bruce used the Gauntlet, the more it changed him. Not physically, but mentally. The moral compass that had guided him for decades became blurred. Failure, once a lesson, was now unacceptable. Mistakes were intolerable. Every action had absolute consequence, every choice permanent. He began to see the world as a puzzle he alone could solve. Then came the turning point. He realized that in saving everyone, in preventing every tragedy, he had changed the lives of those closest to him. Allies no longer faced challenges that shaped them. Alfred's wisdom, Gordon's struggle, even the Joker's chaos, all muted. Gotham thrived, yes, but it was no longer Gotham as it should be. The city had become safer, but sterile. Perfect, yet lifeless. And then the shadow appeared. A dark reflection of himself, born from the Gauntlet's cosmic whispers. It spoke cold truths. Absolute power is a mirror. It shows what you are, not what you wish to be. Batman understood that power does not corrupt, it reveals. And what he saw in himself was a man on the edge of becoming what he had always fought against. A god capable of shaping life and death without conscience. Gotham slept under his watchful eye. The streets were safer. Crime had almost vanished. Yet the city's soul, its struggle, its heart, had shifted. And the universe, sensing a new power, waited. Waiting to see if the shadows of Gotham could endure a guardian who no longer relied on human limits, but on infinity itself. The question lingered in the void. Could Batman resist the temptation to control all? Or would the man who once wore a mask for justice become something unrecognizable? A shadow in the light of infinity?